Hello. Good afternoon. Who do we have here? Let's see. With you, my fears go away. Who do I have? Who do I have? Saints, it's Wednesday. Where are you, peeps? There you go. Hi, Danny. Y'all having a good Wednesday so far? Mine's been busy, and I don't know if I planned for it to be as busy as it is, but as it's been, but thank you. Hi, Haley. Hi, Walt. Maya. I killed that, sis. Everybody don't get that treatment. I love you too, Haley. I do. Hi, Tammy. You know the deal. We're going to wait for a few people. Hey, sis. Going to wait for a few more folks to join us. And jump on into today. What was that? Is that Muppets? The Muppets that was like, on with the show. I feel like that was a Muppet thing. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? Or am I just improperly being weird? It's fine. It's fine. Hi, Brother John. Mi hermano mayor. I miss you. Hi, Larry. You guys, you're all coming in. Hi, Carla. I'm sure I'm missing folks. Y'all charge it to how slow my feed is. Hi, Jeremy. Hi, Dad. Muppet babies, thank you for the confirmation. We got 17 folks. What up, Kelly? Kelly. Larry, I miss you screaming at me on Sundays. Micah. Hi, friends. I miss you too, John. It's been far too long. What up, Chase? Ricky! Hi, I love you and I miss you. Hi, Tyler. Welcome. You love my hair? Thanks, Larry. It's in a little Cinnabon. Wouldn't that be great right now? Hi, Chris. Sherry, what's up, fam? What up, Bethany? Come on in the room. Chris, you made it on time. Won't God do it? Did you scream at me on Sundays? Am I making that up? Don't you go, Lici! Am I making that up? Could be making that up. Hi, Doug. Yeah. Cinnabon. Listen, y'all better be glad there's not a Cinnabon near me, because, child, I would be on this feed right now eating one and feeling fine, just fat and happy. Hi, sweet sis. It's good to see you. Ooh. Jenny's ice cream. You know what? I can't even do ice cream and sing. So I feel like I kind of mess up the flow because you don't want to have, hey, Jerica, you don't want to have like sorbet and a Cinnabon. That don't feel right. You need ice cream. So I got to find another chunk of space where I don't have to sing and I can get it in. Hi, peeps. Okay, we got 23 folks and Jody, my Jody's here. Anybody else that, we got 24 folks. Anybody else that joins in, welcome. Welcome to this week's episode of What's Going Down with Lici Brown. You guys, I asked you all this week, hi Marcus, I asked you all this week to just fire away. Ask me anything and I will, hi Jen, and I will do my best to answer it. Angie, you said I'm looking good, girl. Thank you. Because all I see are these corn cheeks, Jesus. Oh, thank you for coming, Larry. Thank you. It means so much to me that you're here. But anyway, I asked you, Jen said this bun. We're calling it a Cinnabon. Huh? But not S-I-N. My God. I asked you guys to ask me anything. And of course, you were ready for me. I love you too, Larry. You guys were ready for me this week. Woo. Good Lord. Oh, I'm gonna be honest with you. Yesterday was a hard day. Cinnabon, I'm sorry. Yesterday was a hard day. I mean, between George Floyd and Karen, what's that child's name? Amy Cooper, I think. Ooh, it was a hard day. It was a hard day. I'm not gonna lie. That thing hit me. It took me apart. It took me apart. And I'm always a little bit hesitant before I post anything that could be deemed political or whatever on my page, but I feel like it's part of what I'm supposed to do. It's part of my calling to kind of shed light on the hard stuff, as much as I love to laugh and cut up. But I always get a little gut check because I know I've got a lot of folks from just every walk of life on my page, and everybody is quite opinionated. And I just was not, a lot of times when I post things, I'm in the space where like, I'm prepared for a fight, never gonna fight, but I'm prepared for a little bit of pushback. Yesterday was not one of those days. and I have before posted things on my page and said, okay, like if you don't agree, keep it moving, you know, swipe left, do whatever. And it's never respected. It is never respected. But I went ahead and said what I felt like I needed to say yesterday, which wasn't much because words just aren't enough in a situation like this. And thank you, Jesus. When I tell you I was prepared, like I was like, all right, she got 4,998 friends. We need to make some room because I'm not going to be dealing with this foolishness. But thank God I didn't get any. I got a lot of folks who were sympathetic or empathetic, and I got a lot of questions from friends who wanted to know what can they do, what can be said, how can we address all of the things. So we're going to get into that a little bit today because, you know, we just don't have a lot of time in 30 minutes to really dig in the way that we need to. Unfortunately, this is an issue that's not going to go away very soon. So we have time. And even if it were to go away tomorrow, there are a lot of wounds that need to be healed in this country. So we're going to talk, and we're just going to talk and hear each other out. So I asked you guys to ask me anything, and I'm going to start with the lighter subject matter first because, you know, help us, Jesus. The first question came from my good friend, and she asked me, how has motherhood changed you? Whew, motherhood, good grief. You know, I would say that motherhood has made me less selfish. And I don't think you really know how selfish or how self-centered or self-serving you are until you have a child. One, for those of us who've been able to carry children naturally, from the moment I found out that I was pregnant, it was a wrap. I was no longer in control of my body. I couldn't eat what I want. Hi, Travion. I couldn't eat what I want. I couldn't sleep when I wanted to. I couldn't sleep how I wanted to. Little mama made it very apparent that, like, your reign, Lici, is over. It is now my time. And, you know, it took some adjusting to. You have 9 months to kind of get used to all of that. And then as soon as you get used to that, voila, they're here. They're on your person. They're in your pocket. They're everywhere. It's just not about you anymore. It just can't be. I know most folks wouldn't, well, a lot of folks don't see this of me. I am a pretty passive person. I know. You passive, oh my God. Yes. I do not like conflict. I do not like tension. I do not like all that stuff. I just don't. If there's any way that I can get around a circumstance without having to fight or argue or have just, that's what I'm going to do. However, the moment my child started breathing this air, I found a boldness that I didn't know that I had. You are not gonna mess with my baby. You're not. And if I perceive any danger, it's a wrap. It is a wrap. Which honestly, if I'm being honest, is why I'm a single mom. But that's a subject for another day. I found courage that I didn't know that I had. And what is also very cool, me with my background, I've shared with you guys some about my sexual molestation and all of that stuff. because it started from a very young age. I never really had a time in my life where I saw myself, you know, wholesome and pure and all of those sweet things that we see in our children. You don't really get to see yourself the way that you do when you have a baby. And so when I see Yasmin Rose, I see this purity. I see a joy. I see just this love for learning. I see just a desire to like create, and just her excitement. Listen, there is not a beat, there are not consecutive beats on this planet that are going to be wasted on that baby. If you sneeze 3 times in a row, she's already dancing to it by the second sneeze. She's like, chew, chew, hey, chew. Like you are not going to waste a bit of music on this baby. And so it's been kind of cool to see that, because I know that's me. And I remember parts of myself that I you know, disconnected from in her. So, you know, I would say that's how motherhood has changed me. What about you guys? If some of you moms that are watching, or even dads, what changed with you? How has motherhood or fatherhood or unclehood or anything changed you? It will work a number on your life if you let it. Okay? It also will bring you closer and closer to a jail sentence. Because, ooh, Jesus, these babies. Now you should listen. I'm interested to see what you guys have to say. Motherhood is costly. You ain't got no kids, but you probably were an expensive child, Aisha. Oh, Tim says having a daughter softened me up. I bet it did. You was a little double. Courtney, oh, that jail sentence. Oh, gosh. You're right, John. Nothing is ever the same. Zelda says, I didn't realize I could love that hard until I became a mom. You're so right. Casey, motherhood has taught me what unconditional love and true self-care is all about. Gosh. Naisha, you have 2 baby boys. Are they puppies? Because, okay, stop texting. Don't type another word. Oh, listen, a bottle of wine and a getaway car, Casey said. Oh, hi, Joyce. Listen, parenthood will work you. Honestly, I guess it's meant to do that. It really does reflect God's heart for us, the way that he loves us. You know what I'm saying? Like, if my child is in need, if I hear her crying, even if I know she's done something that she should not have done, she's crying because she did something that caused her some pain, I want to move heaven and earth to fix that for her, to hold her, to comfort her, to teach her. And that's just a microcosm of how God feels about his kids. So Lene says teenagers will take you out. Keep bail money on hand. Listen, she don't know it, but that money I put in her piggy bank is for me in case I need bail. I'm just going to let y'all know. One of y'all, I'll let you know where it is in the house. If I get locked up, y'all hit that piggy bank. Jerica, my friend Jerica just had a baby. Gosh, what is he, 5 months, 4 months old? I missed what you said. I'm so sorry. Okay. Hi, Auntie Mia. All right, we're going to... It's not a... My child is stumping around upstairs. If you heard that, that's what that is. All right, now we're going to get into the stuff, okay? But it's not even hard. My friend, John, I'm going to tell him that it was you. John Cavazos, who is my big brother in the Lord, and we worked together forever at Disney in the Voices of Liberty. He and his wife, Pastor, he is Mexican-American and French, white and Mexican. Can I say that? And then his wife is Trinidadian, black from Trinidad. And so their babies are beautiful. They're beautiful. They just, you know, they're one big old multicultural pot. And he asked me this question, which a lot of you guys asked a very similar question. John said, if you could be in charge of a racial reconciliation ministry at a church, what would you try and implement for those truly seeking racial reconciliation? And I loved that question because Y'all know I have had a lot of time. I have had a lot of time as the only chocolate chip in the cookie. John says he is Mexican, French, Canadian, and Irish. I got them all except for Irish. But that's still just white, right? Like that's just white on white on white Mexican. I've had a lot of time being one of the only brown folks in the building, being the caramel drizzle on the vanilla milkshake. Okay, the brownie, the lone brownie bite in a sea of sugar cookies. Like, that has been me. And so I have had a lot of time to think about how, mestizo, how I could help things change. Because to me, I feel like, well, honestly, it's not even to me. Sunday mornings are the most segregated day of the week. Everybody goes their own way. Black folks go over here, Spanish folks go over here, and white folks over here. And then you break it down denominationally. We don't do a lot of, blending. And it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. When I first graduated from college, I took a job at a church in Houston, Texas called Gulf Meadows Church. And it was the first time, because growing up in Cincinnati, it was more of the same, black, white, everybody here. But it was my first time, of course, it being in Texas. I think the makeup of the church was 40% black, 40% Hispanic, and the rest were white, Asian, and Indian. And it was gorgeous. It was the most beautiful worship experience I'd ever experienced. And honestly, I don't think I've ever gotten back to being a part of a congregation that was that wonderfully blended. My church in Orlando that I was at for years and years had a lot of everybody, but it was still more black and brown heavy. But I just feel like the kingdom of heaven is this huge, beautiful, colorful quilt. And it's to be celebrated and not tiptoed around and nothing to be afraid of. So I've just given a lot of time of, and thinking about like what could change. And I think it's twofold for me. It's severalfold in general, but I would start with the leadership. I would hope to foster a relationship with pastors and with the leadership of the church, because I've been part of some Sunday services where I was one of a few brownies and heard some of the most racially insensitive rhetoric come from the platform, which it wasn't intentional, but it stuck. It did, it worked against what the purpose of us all gathering together was for. I also think that it's very difficult if you are a minority coming into a predominantly white church and you don't see anybody that looks anything like you in leadership. I could be a little bit. But I think if I could just be in charge of that ministry and kind of have my own little crew, I think I would call it the sit down. And it would be a small group of sorts that was a safe place for conversation and a cultural exchange. I think because our lives are so busy, once we get in our vein, we stay there. Nobody really puts a lot of thought into making friends of other cultures. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really just goes, you know what, I'm gonna go out and meet a Dominican today. Why not? Like it's just awkward. It's you don't really even know how to start. Like you're just some crazy person's like, I've always wanted to meet a Spaniard. Like whatever you would say that's wrong, you're embarrassed about how to even begin. I would love it to be a place where you could come in and not just talk about the hard things, but exchange food, exchange stories about your background. Yasmin Rose agrees. And just have a safe place so that when you have moments like the one that we're in this week, or gosh, was Ahmad just last week? good grief. When you're in seasons like this, where you want to make a difference or you want to have a conversation, you can do that in a safe place. And know you're not going to be judged. You might be chuckled at and laughed at because stuff is funny. Listen, we don't know the things to say. Nobody gets it all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you know? And so you might get a little, but you would have a safe place to ask the hard questions and to hear from perspectives that aren't your own. I will say that I remember when I first, well, really, it's happened so many times. I'll leave it like this. There have been many, many times in my life as the lone caramel chew. I'm gonna find one of these that sticks and I'm gonna keep it. There have been many times in my life where I was one of the only minorities, and something will have happened that will hurt, that will have offended me or hurt my heart. And because the people I'm around know me and love me, they'll ask what's going on. And then I'll explain to them, well, you didn't see it, but when I walked into the store, the woman covered the register, or I was being followed, or just whatever the thing is. And after being in community with these folks who had never had to see things from my perspective, eventually it started to tick them off because they would see, yes, I think she was singing Into the Unknown, Yasmin Rose was. But it began to tick them off because they loved me. They had a friend who helped them see something that they would not have seen otherwise. And there's really nothing that can replace that kind of power. It's one thing to know that offenses are happening or injustice is occurring or an injustice is occurring, and to be upset and to be troubled. And I hope you always are. It's another thing when you have a face, a name, someone that you've done life with, someone that you've built a relationship with, that you can look at them and say, okay, now that could happen to my Lici. That could happen to this, or that one. That's a different kind of empathy. It's a different kind of empathy. And so if you don't have a place to foster these relationships on your own, I would love to have a ministry in church where you could get with folks and just sit down and talk and pray and cry and just, work through stuff. Years and years ago, I started this whole thing on the Voices of Lee tour bus. No, I lied. I actually started in elementary school because of hair. Everybody's hair texture is so different. My white girlfriends would have, this long flowing hair, and they'd be able to do certain things with it. And they'd be like, well, Lici, try yours. And then I would do mine, and my hair would just, stay. So I could just pull it up and it would just stay in position. And they'd be like, what in the world, blah, 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 blah. And so I would go, well, okay, let's have Black Facts with Lici. What do you want to know? Let's talk. Because clearly I'm the first Black person you've been friends with or met or had, been able to have these conversations with. I don't know about lice and whatever. And you don't know about hair grease and probably bacon grease, depending on where you're from. Let's talk. And so, I kept that with me through college. I would sit on the tour bus. I think we were in Puerto Rico one time, and we had all gotten suntan or this, that, and the other. And I was peeling, and just 5 shades darker. And a few folks were shocked that I was dark. They did not know that it was a possibility. Excuse me, my phone is gonna. This is so tacky. No, Black people do not get lice. Jennifer just asked that question. We don't. But they didn't know that my complexion could change. And so I'd be like, well, I forgot to put on my ultraviolet Negro ray protection and I messed around and got crispy. We'd make a joke of it because I mean, like, you don't know these things. And so I always thought it was just kind of a fun thing, a fun way to break the ice, to break the tension by just talking stuff out. So if I could, that's what I would do. And honestly, I feel like that's within all of our possibility. Like that's something that all of us can do in our spheres of influence. I'm laughing at y'all's comments. We are all, the same in so many ways, but the parts of our culture that make us different are to be celebrated and enjoyed and not shied away from. And so I feel like having these conversations and having safe places is not only, I think it's what we're called to do if we're ever going to unify. It's not just fun. It's not just, it's what we are supposed to do. We are supposed to join hands with our brother and our sister and to try to see things from their perspective and to lean in. And when we don't understand, to seek understanding. I've got a lot of friends, several friends who are white parents, and they've got Black children that they've adopted. And I'm telling you right now, I have told them all, make me your Black liaison. I will be your ambassador. Listen, ask the stuff. You don't know about hair product and this, that, and the other, ask me. You don't know about X, Y, and Z, ask me. We have to be able to talk freely and get an understanding. Okay, I feel like I'm rambling on. We only have about 3 minutes left, but yeah, a safe place. And I honestly hope that this is a safe place for us all. Negro Ray protection. Listen. Celebrate. Y'all are killing me. I will say this. I love you all so very much. And the fact that you guys week after week come here and listen to me ramble means the world to me. And I really do hope that this is a place of safety, a place where you can be heard, a place where you can laugh, a place where you can cry, a place where we can pray. And you guys don't see who all is in the room, but I see. And there's every single color and walk of life represented here, and it means the world to me. If there's any way on earth that we are going to heal our land, it's going to come from moments like this and from groups like this and conversations like this. So thank you so much for being with me this week. I feel like our show flies by. 30 minutes, I thought, it's a really long time, and then we never seem to have enough time. But that makes me very, very happy that you guys are here with me. And apparently my light was like, listen, she done. That's what's going down with Lici Brown. If you haven't subscribed, I will put a link for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I love you all so very much. Stay up, pray, stay connected to your brother and your fellow man. We're in this thing together, okay? I love you all. Thanks so much. Bye.